The Arab Spring, 2011. A year that would forever change the landscape of the Middle East. A year for the history books, full of hope and heartbreak. The streets were alive with the voices of millions demanding change. Across the Middle East, people rose up against their rulers. From Tunisia to Egypt, from Libya to Syria, the call for freedom echoed. Demands were simple: dignity, freedom, a voice. The people wanted to be heard, to be seen, to be respected. Tiny Bahrain, an island nation in the Persian Gulf, was no different. Despite its size, the spirit of revolution was just as strong. Protests erupted, challenging the monarchy's grip on power. The streets of Manama were filled with cries for justice. The government, facing its own people turned angry mob, felt the pressure. The tension was palpable, the stakes incredibly high. Something had to be done. Enter Blackwater, the controversial private military company known for its aggressive tactics. Or rather, they didn't enter so much as they were already there, lurking in the shadows of the global security apparatus. Their presence was a dark secret. A private military company, Blackwater, later rebranded as Academy, then Constellus because rebranding erases the past, right? Was known for its work in Iraq and Afghanistan, places not exactly famous for their gentle touch approach to conflict. Their involvement in Bahrain added a new layer of complexity to an already volatile situation. Blackwater, with its reputation built on murky dealings and whispered rumors of excessive force, was a curious choice for a government trying to quell unrest. But perhaps that was the point. Bahrain wasn't looking for a softly approach. They wanted results, and Blackwater, with its history of operating in the gray zones of conflict, promised exactly that. Their mission, shrouded in secrecy as these things tend to be, was supposedly to beef up Bahrain's security forces. Train them up, make them tougher, show them how to deal with pesky protesters. Think of it as a crash course in crowd control, but with more tear gas and less "please disperse." So, what exactly did Blackwater teach these Bahraini recruits? What kind of skills were they imparting to these young men? Well, let's just say it wasn't flower arranging or conflict resolution. No, it was far from anything peaceful or serene. We're talking riot control tactics, baby. The kind of training that prepares you to face off against large groups of people. How to break up a protest, how to disperse a crowd with precision and force, how to handle unruly crowds, read people exercising their right to free speech, and how to maintain control in chaotic situations. And of course, how to use all the fun toys of crowd dispersal tear gas, rubber bullets, the whole shebang. These tools were essential in their training. And it wasn't just about street-level scuffles. The training went beyond just handling protests. Oh no, Blackwater also provided training in urban warfare. This included strategies for combat in city environments. Because nothing says we're here to listen to your concerns like learning how to fight in densely populated areas, right? The irony is palpable. This included things like close-quarters combat, tactical movement, and how to navigate tight spaces effectively. And let's not forget the fancy surveillance equipment. They were trained on how to use it to keep an eye on those pesky dissenters, ensuring no one could escape their watchful gaze. Section 4. The Blackwater Backlash. Unsurprisingly, Blackwater's involvement in Bahrain didn't exactly win them any humanitarian awards. In fact, it sparked outrage and condemnation from human rights groups around the world. The use of excessive force by Bahraini security forces escalated after Blackwater's training programs. Coincidence? I think not. Amnesty International, Human Rights Watch, even the freaking UN, they all chimed in, expressing serious concerns about the training and its potential to fuel human rights abuses. But hey, when has a little thing like international condemnation ever stopped a private military company before? Section 5. Privatizing peace or fueling fire. Blackwater's foray into Bahrain wasn't an isolated incident. It was part of a broader strategy that saw private military companies stepping into roles traditionally held by national armies and police forces. It's a symptom of a larger, more troubling trend, the privatization of war and peace. This shift raises critical questions about accountability, ethics, and the true cost of outsourcing national security. Governments, increasingly reliant on private companies to do their dirty work, outsource their responsibility to shadowy entities with little accountability. These companies operate in the shadows, often beyond the reach of the law. The problem is when you hire a company like Blackwater, you're not just hiring muscle, you're hiring their reputation, their methods, their utter disregard for anything resembling ethical boundaries. Their actions can escalate conflicts and create more chaos. And that, my friends, is a dangerous game to play. The stakes are incredibly high and the consequences can be devastating for both the local population and international relations. It's like hiring a rabid badger to guard your vegetable patch. The badger might keep some pests away, but its unpredictable nature makes it a threat to everything around it. Sure, it might deter some pests, but it's also likely to tear the whole damn thing to shreds. The collateral damage can be far worse than the original problem.